Alright, I did my life science unit on plants and animals basic needs. I'm doing it through first grade, and let's get started. Alright, the standard that I'm addressing is the Life Science Standard 1, and it's identifying the basic needs of plants and animals, talking about air, water, light, nutrients, and for animals also shelter, identifying the parts of the plant, and comparing and describing different types of animals. So these are some big misconceptions that kids have. Plants and animals do not depend on each other. All animals have the same characteristics. There are no wild animals in the city. Plants are not alive in the cold winter months. And animals can talk since they talk in books. So those are things we want to clear up through this unit. For lesson 1, they will go on a nature walk. We'll talk about the different parts as we see them on the plant. Hopefully we'll be able to pick some of the plants out of the ground that are like weeds or things that wouldn't be missed. And then we will go back inside and we will actually dissect the flower, take it apart, and talk about the parts as we take them apart. Flip Float Fly, that's a book that we read. It's also good for just a picture walk. You can look at the pictures just to see all the different ways that the seeds move. Then we do some quick stations. I have 3 different stations that the kids can go to, and one of them is with animal fur, and we take animal fur and they can rub it on the seeds to see if any of the seeds will stick to it. We can also try a sock. Then we do water. We have seeds in a little tray, and you pour some water in and you can go back and forth and they can see how the seeds move through the water. And then we do one with a straw. And so they get the straw and they blow on the seeds to see how wind can move the seeds. All right, lesson 2, we start with a probe from the Uncovering Student Ideas. And we do the one called Seeds in a Bag. And it talks about, they ask the kids, can seeds grow pretty much in a bag? They ask them, can all the seeds grow? None of them, or some of them. And some of them think if we put the seeds in the soil in the bag that they'll grow, but some of them catch on and think, well, wait, if they're in a bag, they can't get water or light or air. So then we go into a book that we're going to make. So this book that we make is usually covered with construction paper, and on the front we do a quick review about the parts of a plant. And so they draw that on the front and they label it. And then we go into our observation that we're going to be doing for the next 4 weeks. So we'll do plants need light? Do plants need water? Do plants need air? Do plants need nutrients? So each one of these always has a control so that we can see exactly how it's supposed to look. A cup with light, so we plant a seed when we give it light. And then we do a cup with no light. So we plant the seed and we cover it up. I usually cover it with aluminum foil so it doesn't get any light. Then we do a cup that needs water, or a plant that needs water. And with that plant, we just put soil and we put seeds, and it gets air, but it does not get water. And then we do one that needs air, and we cover that one with plastic wrap, and I put a rubber band around it so it can't get any air. And then we do one that does not get any soil. The kids think that's really silly, but then they're able to see what the soil actually does when it's not there. So now we usually watch a YouTube video. I'll show just a little bit. Okay, so you get the idea. It keeps going on and it talks about all the different things that the plant needs. Okay, so now going back, so then we'll be doing that for the next 4 weeks. Now, the next day or the next week, will be lesson 3, and we talk about what do plants and animals need to survive. And they start off with the plants and they go and look and see what's changed. They make observations and they document them here. And then we go to our game. We're not playing poker, but we're playing a game called Critters Basic Needs. And so each color chip represents something that an animal would need. So we have blue for water, green for grass, red for shelter, and white for space. And all of them are assigned a different animal. You might have the frog, which hops, so they would hop around the room. And then have the bunny that hops, the turtle, which walks really slow, which is a huge disadvantage, but we talk about that when we talk about the different characteristics of animals. And then we talk about the groundhog, which waddles around. So then I spread these little chips all out around the room, and they'll go and they try to collect as many as they can in 1 minute. And then they go back to their table and they count how many they have. And each animal has a different amount that they need to survive. So that's that game. And this is some classroom management things that I do. If we have to play inside, they can't run. So I talk about how I am the hawk and I'm watching them, and how they have really good eyesight and they can see and they can swoop down to get their prey. So if they're running, the hawk will get them, which is me. All right, lesson 4 and 5 and probably 6 will talk about how they are going to create a zoo. So they will talk about how does a habitat provide for an animal's basic needs. So they will design and build a habitat for an animal that meets the needs for food, air, and water. They will create instructions and a schedule for the feeding, and they will research all about the animal. So hopefully on day 1, they will be able to get all the research done. They'll use Mackinvia or books from the library, and then on Seesaw, they'll collect all their information. So we will be using the engineer and design process right here. So I have this part 1, they will research. Part 2, they will start constructing. So hopefully that will happen in day 1. Day 2, they will prepare basic care sheets for the zookeeper. And on part 4, they will prepare an animal fact sheet for visitors that come to the zoo. And they talk about the appearance, the growth, and the basic needs. So hopefully this is what their projects will turn out like, and they will even have the feeding chart filled out over here so that we know what their animal needs to survive. Thank you.